Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
A little more energy. Good morning.
Good morning.
There we go. Thank you. There we go. Welcome on behalf of Carver, on behalf of the greater Ninth Ward community. What an event for today. Thank you. My hope is that this is the first one in a sequence of many that marked something incredible and celebratory and historic for this community and the kids and generation of kids to come. I want to welcome and thank elected officials who have made this day possible, stakeholders, alums who've stuck through thick and thin. Woohoo! Sure, right? Carver families, Carver staff, and really the reason that we're all here ultimately, which is our Carver scholars and students. And what we know is that this isn't our backyard, but the potential and possibility to serve kids throughout the community is even greater. And we're really, really proud of that too. I could tell you how excited I am about this, but I'd much rather have one of our students tell you how excited he is about it. So Gregory Henderson, come on up.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Gregory Henderson, Mr. Junior, and a football player at George Washington Carver. I am honored to have the opportunity to speak on behalf of George Washington Carver and its community. We are also grateful to have this opportunity of the new stadium that will be presented to the Ninth Ward. This is a reflection that all great things that are happening at GWC. This provides endless opportunities for all of us. Some of our favorite experiences at GWC are football games, cup rallies, school events, Ram of the Week, and most of all, end of the year ceremonies. This will be a major project for us as a football team and the community. This is a place we can finally call home. Thank you, and have a blessed day.
Good morning, Ram Nation. Good morning. I am so happy. Today is an exciting day. We're really, really excited about what's happening today. And to all of our esteemed guests that are gathered here today, we welcome you. We're so excited. I have the pleasure of introducing this gentleman that I've known most of my life. Our lives have intertwined. We grew up 2 blocks apart in Lower Coast, Algiers, also known as the Cutoff, for those that are familiar. His sister Jill and I made our debut together. We attended the same high school, Yasco Perry Walker, Charters. He was educated in the Orleans Parish Public Schools and matriculated at Xavier University, earning a Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science and Business Administration. Congressman Carter has enjoyed a distinguished career at virtually every level of government. In 1991, he served as the executive assistant to Mayor Sidney Bartholomew. He became the first African American to be elected to the Louisiana House of Representatives, District 102, Algiers. He served on the Education Committee, Municipal Parochial and Cultural Committee, and Transportation and Highway Committee as the youngest floor leader representing the city of New Orleans in the Louisiana House of Representatives. In 1994, he was elected to the New Orleans City Council, District C, which includes the historic French Quarter, and the West Bank. Once again, trailblazing. He was the first African American to be elected to the position. He is currently the representative of Louisiana's 2nd District, serving New Orleans Parish, Jefferson, and the River parishes. Now the other parishes get to know what we all know in Orleans Parish. We've known for years how hard he works for his constituents, his belief in God, and the importance of education. He's the proud father of 2 sons, Troy Jr. and Joshua. He also supports and acknowledges girl power. He is the first congressman whose spouse is a general officer in the United States Army. His wife is a brigadier general. I'm proud to call him a friend, and he's no stranger to Carver. He's always here. Please welcome to the podium our congressman, the people's congressman, the community's congressman, Congressman.
that incredibly generous introduction, and a huge thank you to you all. I think the student that spoke said it best, because at the end of the day, that's what this is about. It's not about us, it's about them. It's about the great work that they do and the great work we know they can do, and the commitment that we have as leaders, whether elected, civic, financial, business, or otherwise, clergy or whatever. Our commitment is to making sure that we're providing the best possible opportunities for our young people. And that's what today is about. So many people to thank. I want to begin by thanking the board, the people that have worked so tirelessly. I'm proud to be here to give a little something today. But long before I was able to arrange resources and to bring money to a project that has been long overdue, there were people working in the background. People that were toiling, people that were raising money, people that were coming up with plans, people that were coming up with programs, people that were identifying needs of a community. And I'd be remiss if I didn't take a moment and bear with me, because I'm going to read some names, because no one should be left out. First of all, the board. Arnie Falco, Wilbur Thomas. And this is not one of those ones when we say hold your applause, you can clap whenever you want to. Arnie Falco, Wilbur Thomas, Ann Duplessis, Roy Glapion, Stacey Martin, Deuce McAllister, Bobby Barnes, Mark Ripple, the rest of the volunteers who have been pushing this project. And we know that there's those unsung heroes that have been in the community that don't show up necessarily in the press. They don't necessarily show up. I've seen my brother Carl Washington here a little while ago. We know that he, along with many others, have been out in the community fighting and pushing. And we may not always agree on formula, but we always agree on outcome. And that is making sure that we do what's best for our children. I'm joined and proud to be joined by a number of my esteemed colleagues, many of which have served with on the city council or in the state legislature. Senator Joe Bowie, Representative Candace Newell, Council President Helena Moreno, Council Vice President J.P. Burrell, Council Member Eugene Green, State Representative Candace Newell twice. We also have with us my dear brother Jason Hughes, Wesley Bishop, Austin Badong. Give our elected officials a round of applause. That I often say has the toughest job of any, and that are members of the school board. Members of the school board who truly have a very tough job. They face tough issues every day, and it's difficult to solve every single problem, but they do the best they can. They step up, they give their time, they give their talent, they give their energy, and there are very few times that they're thanked. So today, let us give thanks to our school board members who are present. Beginning with the superintendent, our newest member of the team, Dr. Avis Williams, Superintendent OPSD. We have Dr. Fatima Fulmore, Deputy Superintendent. We have School Board Member Oakland Parker, School Board Member Leela Ames, School Board Member Carlos Servicon, School Board Member Nolan Marshall, School Board Member Katie Baudouin, and School Board Member Ethan Ashley. Give them a round of applause. I know that Councilmember Thomas couldn't be here today, but he sent his very able Chief of Staff, Deidre Pierce, in his absence. Oliver's been a faithful partner of mine in working on projects, particularly those in the 9th Ward. We have Mr. Justin McCarkle, Youth Force NOLA, Jasmine Brown, Greater New Orleans, Inc., Teddy Marshall, Unite Foundation, Peter Coleman, the 4th NAACP SCLC, Hollygrove Central, City Gerttown, John Renthrope, New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce, Cajun Fire Brewing, Kate Swinburne, Youth Force NOLA, Marguerite Doyle Johnson, Walter Thomas once again, Oscar Brown, Kelsey Foster, All Jersey Economic Development Foundation. Give them all a big round of applause. Now, what through that painstaking measure to, if I forgot anybody, charge it to the head, not the heart. And Lisa D., my clerk. My clerk. Not only clerk of Second City Court, she's president of damn near every organization. So she is a very active, hard-working individual that's working when no one's watching. She does great work, and again, charge of the head, not the heart. Give her an independent round. So we come together, and I went through the point to mention everybody because these kind of efforts are not done by any one person. It's not done by any one group. It's done by a combination of people coming together recognizing a need. And that's what community is about. And that's what leadership is about. And that's what preparing our young people for the future is about. It's because we believe in them, and we want them to have the very best of every opportunity to succeed. High school athletics, when done correctly, help bring communities together through teamwork, camaraderie, and yes, competition. Teams are built and invested for everyone. For this to work, however, people in the community need community participants. And that's why I'm so excited about this project. The Ninth Ward community has always been expected to journey to other areas to see their sons and daughters play and cheer. Finally, games won't just be at City Park on the West Bank. They'll be right here. Right here. I'm proud to present this $3 million check. $3 million with an M. Project. This state-of-the-art facility will serve as a vital addition to our community, bringing more than 1,000 community members together. Equitable investment has always been my top priority, and I'm confident that this investment will demonstrate just that. For far too long, communities like the Ninth Ward have had to travel across the city to enjoy performances of their children and friends. This is a beautiful example of how investing in our communities and investing in our children really make a difference. The New Orleans legacy runs deep on this land. Children from all over the city of New Orleans can now create their history within their own community and create generational change. There are so many ways that we can invest equitably. This is only one. My work in Congress has helped us create access to capital for these kind of projects and to help communities that have sometimes been left out and historically marginalized or simply overlooked. We have funded our HBCUs at historic levels so they can compete on a level playing field. And we have begun student debt forgiveness. $20,000 for those with Pell Grants, $10,000 with non-Pell Grants, and that's a good start. I've got a bill that's going to Congress. I've got a bill that's going through Congress that's a little bit more ambitious. I've asked for $50,000. Have anyone confused, we're in no way ungrateful to this great president who has done it now. Yeah. Give President Joe Biden. Talk about a stimulus, and you really want to talk about putting something back in people's pockets. A $1,000 or $2,000 check is nice, and we're not giving it back. However, if you want to have sustained stimuli, then you give people an opportunity to have money every month. An opportunity to follow the American dream, own their own home, start their own business, invest in our community. Now that is what we do when we invigorate an economy. Give people money to spend on things that are important to their success and the success of their children and their families. That's stimulus. And that's what we're doing here today, as a matter of fact. So today is a great day, a day that we pay homage to all the great workers that have come forward, to thank all the people that are behind me, I think I saw in the audience, and she's sitting there, the beautiful leader and wife of our illustrious former state rep, former District E City Council member, Johnny Jackson Jr. And I got to tell you, I know that Johnny's looking, he's proud. Because, today we celebrate a magnificent stadium and a magnificent place for a magnificent group of people. God bless you and thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Congressman, and thank you for all that you do for our kids, for our community, et cetera. We really appreciate you. At this time, I'd like to bring up a dynamic duo that helped us with getting some state funds, and that is none other than Senator Bowie and Representative Henderson.
Good morning, the Carver Nation. We are indeed happy to be here. And of course, as one who was born less than a mile from here on Norset Place, you have to know that this is very special for us. And when I say us, I mean actually your Louisiana State Delegation, which also includes Jason Hughes, 9th Ward, as well as Senator Harris and former Senator Wesley Bishop. And I want to focus in on my brother from another mother, and Ricardo's point of teamwork. And this is for all of the students. As he said, this didn't happen by one person. And of course, your education also is involved in a team. Your administrators, your teachers, your family, and the community all have circled you to ensure that you can actualize your potential as human beings. And so when Congressman Carver was able to shake loose that $3 million, it really allowed us as your state legislators to ensure that the state also came to the table and put something there. And we were able to match what Congressman Carter did as well. So we are just excited of what this means for the community, for you, the students, and we look forward to our continued support for you and the Carver Rams. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Senator Bowie and Representative Bowie, for all that you do for our kids as well. At this time, I'm going to ask our council members at large, Elena Moreno and J.P. Morrell, I call him my little bad brother.
We all call him that. All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Okay, well, this is just a fantastic day, and I'll have to say, I always heard from the board members that if you build it, they will come. And what we're building here is a field of dreams. For so long, there's been conversations as to, what could be in the 9th Ward that could really be there for the community and for our children, but could also be that anchor to bring others to the 9th Ward so that we could really boost this community and boost development for the 9th Ward. And my friends, this is the project. This is the project. So look, Congressman Carter, you're here with, where is it? You're here with this huge $3 million check. And we are so thankful for you and for your work to get this done. But look, I was just having a little conversation with my bad little brother here, Councilmember Morrell, and we were thinking that maybe the city council should figure out a path to put in a little something as well. As you all know, there's 7 members, and I've only talked to 1. Okay? But just know that the city council is going to be working on trying to add a little something as well so we can get this project done as quickly as possible. It is so great to be with you all, and I'm so excited about this project, and I turn it over now to my bad little brother.
I'll be brief with you, got a lot of speakers. I would be remiss if I didn't start by saying, Reverend Calhoun, my father is a graduate of George Washington Carver. On hollow ground. And as Reverend Calhoun likes to say, he and my dad joke, well, I joke, it was true, they always go, you weren't good enough to go to Carver, but you turned out okay. I want to note something, especially for Arnie back here, who's been on this for a very long time. This is a culmination of about a decade of work. When Arnie, I think, was still on the council, we began the work on looking at building this Field of Dreams. And your delegation at that point, which was myself and then Representative Wesley Bishop, were able to secure some money, but let me tell you how the legislature works. Just because you get some money doesn't mean you keep your money. And it is a testament to this delegation, under the leadership of Senator Joe Bowie and Representative Newell, that they kept that money until we could get to today with all these different matching funds to make it come together. So this is the culmination, the completion of a promise made to the Carver community a decade ago. And I know it's a term y'all like to hear from politicians, but promises kept. Promises kept.
My bad little brother. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge Mary Evans, the alumni president for George Washington Carver High School. This gentleman holds a special place in my heart. You know, during the pandemic, not that we're out of it, but during the crux of the pandemic, he opened his restaurant and gave free meals to teachers. And that really, really touched my heart. Please welcome Henry Copeson. I've known this gentleman for almost that many years, I won't tell. But next, our council member for this district, Eugene Green.
Thank you very much, Stacy and Congressman Carter and the members of the board. I appreciate the invitation to join us today. I'm so pleased to be here in Rams Nation. I am pleased to have connections to the school that I don't talk about a lot, but I need to. But I grew up kind of coming to Carver's library because my mother was a long-time librarian here and my father was a math teacher. Before they went on to SUNO, they spent great years here at Carver, and I'm just so pleased whenever I have an opportunity to come to Carver and to work with students. I know that I'm here at the home of the reigning state champion in basketball. And I was pleased to get here by driving off the interstate onto Johnny Jackson Boulevard. A proud Carver graduate who did so many things to enhance our community. I'm so pleased to be able to drive on that boulevard and working with my two council members behind me, and I know Oliver Thomas. We're going to put some pressure on Public Works to make that street look a little better, huh? I don't know what's going on with that street, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. But we're also very near a very substantial project in the Gordon Plaza project. We're going to help the residents and we're moving forward. It doesn't seem like it sometimes, but every day moving a little bit closer to a relocation of those residents who have for too long been on a toxic dump. We're also right down the street from what will be the Carver Desire Community Center that is going to be dedicated, the Desire Florida Community Center, which is going to be dedicated in November at the corner of Johnny Jackson and Florida Boulevard. Drive NOLA and Drive Nightwater doing great things at their educational institution on Desire. So there's a lot going on in this area. I'm just so pleased to have the opportunity to represent a district in which I grew up, Pontchartrain Park and Sugar Hill. I'm also just so pleased to have an opportunity to represent a district that is going to be moving so far ahead in the future. This project is a good example of an infrastructure investment, a community investment that's going to make differences in this community, and it's going to continue to help it grow. So in behalf of my office, the District D office of the New Orleans City Council, and in behalf of the community members who I've come in contact with who are so pleased to have this project happen, I thank Congressman Carter, I thank the board, and I thank all the elected officials who made it possible for this stadium to be built, but to also represent the new investment that is going to take place in this community that's going to really enhance the quality of life. The quality of what is a good life for many, but also to enhance the quality of life so that things are better. Thank you for this opportunity. This is a great day, and I'm so very pleased to be here on this day. Thank you.
At this time, we'll hear from the President of Orleans Parish School Board, Olin Parker, and our District 2 Representative, Ethan Ashley.
Good morning, everybody. On behalf of the entire board, we are so thrilled to be here today to celebrate the great accomplishments, to celebrate this culmination that we're seeing of so many people working to make sure that we can build a stadium in the 9th Ward for not just Carver, but the entire NOLA PS community. I'm so grateful to everyone who has put in so much work over the past 10 years. I'd like to just acknowledge my board colleagues, Nolan Marshall, Vice President Carlos Zerbagon, my colleague standing next to me, Ethan Ashley, who represents Carver, Leland Eames, who represents so much of New Orleans East and the 9th Ward, Katie Bodwin, who is our facilities chairperson, who is doing a lot of work behind the scenes to make sure that this happens. I also want to thank Arnie and the rest of the board for your work. On behalf of the board, thank Representative Newell, Senator Joe Bowie for securing this funding, and of course Congressman Carter for not only this funding but being such a strong advocate for children and youth in New Orleans. Whether it's student debt forgiveness or expanding the child tax credit or this stadium, or I could list many, many things, and we are very, very grateful for your advocacy on behalf of children. I'll end just by saying we are building a structure here. A stadium is a structure, but it is also a place for community to gather. It is a place for the students of Carver, the football team, the band, the cheerleaders, the majorettes, to show the hard work that they put into these noble pursuits that they're doing. It is a way for alumni to gather and celebrate what the current Carver students are doing out there on the field. It is a way to bring together members of the East, of the 9th Ward, of our entire city to celebrate the successes of our youth. And I will end by saying I'm a former teacher and a former football coach. I'll be very honest, I don't know if my students remember any individual math lesson, but I guarantee they remember their experience on the football field, their experience in the band, all of those things much, much more. So we are building something for the students of this community, and it would not be possible without Representative Newell, without Senator Bowie, without Congressman Carter, maybe the City Council. We're just, on behalf of the full board, we're just so grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, President Parker and Representative Ashley. At this time, we'll hear from our next speaker, who comes to us with 20 years of experience as an educator, serving as a teacher and a principal at elementary, middle, and high school levels. We are proud now to call her our first female, black female, superintendent, Dr. Ada Sewell. Yes.
Good morning. Many of you may know that equity is one of my core values. And when I think of equity, the first thing that comes to mind is removing barriers. And having to travel, whether it's to school or to extracurricular activities, is a barrier. And I am so grateful to Congressman Carter for building this stadium, for allowing us, creating the opportunity for us to build a stadium, providing access. And when we think about schooling, of course we think about academics, right? But we have to include extracurricular activities because that's what makes education whole. We oftentimes talk about the whole child. I even talk about the whole teacher because we want to ensure that education is well-rounded. But when we think about the whole school, extracurricular activities are the heartbeat. And I'm a huge football fan, and I'm not going to get into that right here. Some of you know why. You know I came from Alabama, but we won't get into that. But knowing how football and sports and just athletics in general brings a community together makes this even more exciting. And for it to be right here in the 9th Ward makes it just a celebration for this entire community. So on behalf of all of NOLA PS, we say thank you. We're super, super grateful, and I cannot wait to see our athletes, our scholars, our dancers, our cheerleaders, everyone out on the field and this entire community taking advantage of it. So again, thank you, Congressman Carver.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. It has given me great pleasure to serve with this gentleman. You've heard him talk about the board, Mark Ripple, Bobby Guerin, Deuce McAllister, who's with us, Roy Glapion, who's with us, and Duplessis Wilbur Thomas. But this gentleman, you know, so many public servants and community leaders have a vision and do nothing with them. The next gentleman put action to the vision. He believes in our city, the power of young people, and this community. He is an attorney, former New Orleans City Councilman, former New Orleans Saints executive. He currently serves as the CEO of the Jewish Federation of Greater New Orleans. Please welcome to the podium the gentleman that has led renewed efforts to the 9th Ward Stadium. Welcome our chair,
What a special, special day. And the good news is, this is only the first of 3 special days. Eventually, we will be breaking ground, and then after that, we'll be cutting a ribbon. So this is so incredible. As many people have said today, it really does take a team, as in sports and politics, to be able to get something done. Look around the room here of the people behind me and in the audience. You have all been incredible partners. I think I've called you more often than you probably ever want to hear. Senator, I know you know that. Congressman, you know that. But we couldn't have got to this day without the help of each and every one of these individuals. So I want to let you know a couple things. First of all, you know, this roadmap really started 14, 15 years ago. I was on the city council. I was an at-large member. This was obviously an area that I represented. And, you know, you could come to this area and you could dream. You could believe what could happen here as the city got rebuilt. And I was reached out to by a gentleman, I need to name him because he really was the first, a guy named Brian Bordanik, who became the athletic director here, who had a vision and a dream. He went out and said, I'm going to raise money, which he did. I was one of the donors back almost 15 years ago. And, you know, I left town to go back into the sports field and the NBA, and candidly, I lost track of the project. And 3 years ago, a media member brought this project back up. And I will tell you, when I heard that we had not succeeded yet, when I heard that this stadium was not ready to be built yet, I got on the phone, I called many of the board members that are here today, and I think you may have been the first. And I said, would you join me on this journey? We can make this happen, all right? We need to make this happen. Not only for Carver, the alums, the student athletes, the students in general, we are going to make this happen. And through the dedication of my other 9 board members, we have been able to bring it to today. Now, I want to say this. We still aren't there yet, okay? Council President, I remember what you just said a few minutes ago. We have raised $6.8 million today through the generosity. Of our Congressman, our state legislature, but this is a $9 million facility. That's the goal. So we are still $2.2 million away from realizing that goal. And here's what I can promise you. We're going to make it. We're going to work. Each and every day in order to raise those few dollars and to get this stadium done. I want to tell you just a quick story. I just got back from my hometown, my home state, Wisconsin, and one of the things I'd like to do at the end of August is go back there, one, because the weather's pretty nice, but 2, I'd love to just go to different cities, different small cities, big cities, and park in front of a football field and watch the kids get ready for fall season. And it was amazing to me this year because what came to mind is no matter what city I went to, big or small, they had a sports stadium. And I said, how could this be? And why can't this be in New Orleans? There's no reason that Carver can't have a home stadium. There's no reason that all of the other public middle and high schools in New Orleans can't have yet another place to play. City Park is great, but we need more venues than just that. And this facility, when it opens, is not only going to be the home of Carver, but it's also going to be a home of every public middle and high school that wants to play here. And I'm very excited about it. So, I want to thank every one of you. We still have to roll up our sleeves. We still have to finish this project. This is going to be the pride of this entire community. We haven't built an athletic facility of this magnitude in decades, all right? And when we do open this stadium, it's going to be, as many speakers have said before, it's going to be something very special for the athletes, the parents. I hope very much that it's an economic catalyst for this neighborhood. This neighborhood has such great potential. I hope that this serves as a tool in fighting crime in our city, because recreation is one of the best things we can do to accomplish that. But we need all of you. We need all the people behind me. We need all of you in the audience. Let's get this done, and we will make New Orleans so proud. One last comment. Joe and Candace, thank you again. What you did in this past session was incredible, all right? And Congressman, you know, Troy has been a friend since I've been in New Orleans. I think we have the best congressman here representing us anywhere in the country. Even before Troy was sworn in, I had reached out to him and I said, he wasn't even elected yet, okay? I reached out and said, when you get elected, I need you to help with this project. And he went to bat. Again, in an unprecedented way in Congress, because this was the first year that earmarks were brought back in a decade. And we weren't really sure what the rules were yet. But before he was even sworn in, he made a vow and went to work and got this $3 million earmark support for us. And for that, we are greatly appreciative. Thank you all. I'm going to turn it back to Stacy, and we will look forward to welcoming you in a few more months at hopefully the groundbreaking of this great facility.
So much, Arnie. We are up against a little bit of time here because our kids are going to be transitioning to class. So you're going to be held hostage in this cafeteria because they have to transition to class. So if we're not done in a few minutes. At this time, I'd like to invite the Congressman back to the podium so that he can do the presentation to the members of Orleans Parish School Board and the 9th Ward Stadium board members.
I'm going to turn this way first and I'll come back to you again. To all of you, because no one does it alone. Because of the incredible work and vision of Arnie and the board and so many people that come in. This is a labor of love. And this is a small token of appreciation.
Big.